about y'all, but I really fucking hate fireworks. They're really fucking annoying. They scare all the pets. They're really fucking loud. They contribute to a lot of pollution. Absolutely unnecessary. And also, if you've seen fireworks like 3 times, you're probably good for life. They're the same every time. It's not even Memorial Day yet. Is that the next holiday that's coming up next Monday? I can't keep track. So I guess it's only Thursday, and we've already started with fireworks in my neighborhood, and this will continue probably until like 2 days after Memorial Day. Cool. So I bought the sweet potato a very long time ago, and as you can see, it started sprouting. It's also really fucking loud outside. Let me just close my window. Oh my god, so much better, yes. Has anyone ever planted sprouts from potatoes before? And if so, can you teach me how to do it? Plant the sprout part, cut off a chunk, let the cut end dry, then plant in soil. Thank you, JS. Awesome. Okay. So I'm actually going to be peeling the sweet potato, and I'm going to be steaming it. The sweet potato skins a lot of the times make me bloat really bad, so it's just not worth the pain for me to keep that fiber on. Otherwise I would, but it's just, you know, cost benefit analysis, not worth it. Popping out your chat right now so I can see you guys in full resolution. It helps to have more than 1 sprout per chunk. So should I just lop off this entire top half containing all the sprouts? Or should I eye out the sprouts on their own? Sweet potato is very hard to cut, you were right, but we're gonna do it. I believe in us. The jar holds Aaron's tea. That's what's in the jar. I'm gonna adjust you guys a little bit. There we go. There we go. Oh, yay. Set some water up to a boil. Put our steamer in. Ooh, fever dream. That sounds fun. Alright, so one of you said to lop off the entire top portion with all the sprouts. So that's what I'm going to do. I guess we'll let this dry now, and then we'll try to plant it in soil. Fun stuff, guys, fun stuff. So for folks who don't know, this is a Japanese sweet potato. I love this variety. It's way starchier and way heartier than the North American orange variety, and it's probably my favorite sweet potato to eat. definitely peel a sweet potato if you've never peeled it this way. I'm so curious, is there another way to peel sweet potato that I'm not aware of? So obviously the smaller you cut your sweet potato, the faster they'll cook, because more surface area is exposed to each individual piece, meaning the heat will get to it sooner. So I'm gonna chunk them into like 1-inch pieces, I guess. Yay big. Yes, they are starchier and sweeter, indeed. That is why I like them, because I like my carbs, and they're very, very, very carby. They almost have the density of a normal potato, but the sweetness of a sweet potato, and also a creaminess that yellow, orange sweet potatoes don't have. So I love them so very much. Ta-da! Alright, bye guys, I guess. We're done cooking for tonight. Update on the lentils that we made yesterday. I ate quite a bit of it today, so I'm very glad that we made it last night. Maybe I'll heat up a little bit and eat it now, because I'm kind of hungry. I don't know what brand this is. It has like Japanese kanji on it right there. But I have no idea. It's just a Japanese sentoku knife. What seasoning? It's just gonna get steamed. I sometimes just like to eat plain sweet potato. My taste buds are actually very attracted to blandness, to like dirt-like foods, like peanut butter, hummus, just plain hummus, just mashed up chickpeas, refried beans, sweet potato. Just, I like the purity of it, the boringness of it. It's very comforting to me, you know? I lived in Japan when I was like 3 to 4 years old, so a little over a year. That's it. I don't recall much of it. Let's heat up some of our lentils, shall we? I think that'll be a deliciously healthy evening snack. Little Ludite, it's so funny that you say that. I tried to set my Instagram pronouns to Hasselback potato and they wouldn't let me. You can only go with the traditional pronouns. How's that for diversity and inclusion? Whatever. Everybody knows it doesn't mean shit. Surface level bullshit. brew some tea. Duck rice genmaicha. You've seen me brew this before. It has like toasted rice in it. Love it so much. I'm gonna set a timer for maybe 20 minutes for the sweet potato. Am I transphobic? Where did that question come from? Because we were talking about pronouns and how corporations are like, we're going to be inclusive and give everyone the option to put their pronouns into their profiles. Is that why? I don't know where you got that. I mean, maybe I'm unconsciously transphobic in certain aspects of my thinking, but I would love to be more educated on trans identity and gender nonconformity, but I don't think I'm actively transphobic. Whether or not there's remnants of discrimination and prejudice stuck in my old ways of thinking, maybe. I won't say no. It's always possible, but I'm trying to be better. But I hope I didn't say anything insensitive just now. I'm just a little fed up with companies, corporations, who tout their desire to be inclusive of diversity of all sorts, and then very clearly do not actually practice any of it. That's just what I'm ranting about. I'm tired of seeing bullshit being censored on social media. I understand there's arguments for censorship, but I'm also just like, it's a very slippery slope, guys. You start censoring some shit, and then where do you stop the censorship?
I think June was simply having a Judith Butler moment, where she was saying that gender is performative, and so Instagram's decision to not let June make her gender, whatever it is really not letting June break down the whole concept of gender entirely, which is her goal. If I were to translate, if I were to be so bold as to translate what June meant.
Are you wearing the same shirt as yesterday?
I am, yeah. After I work out, I sometimes wear the same shirts a few nights in a row because they're not dirty from my daily use.
It's just some leave-in conditioner. My hair has been really bad recently. It's been like becoming more and more straw-like, and I can't comb through it in the shower, and sometimes I just like tear chunks off. So I'm trying to be better about conditioning. Yeah, brands who make profit off of identities that are actually oppressed are the scum of the earth. Scum of the earth. You're somehow profiting off of the same identities that you're suppressing. Like, how the fuck does that work? Why is that allowed? Why has God not struck you down? I don't rinse my hair with cold water. I know that it's supposed to be good for you, but I am such a wimp, and I really can't stand that shock. Olaplex. That sounds fancy and expensive, girl. Is it fancy and expensive? Can't afford that shit. This was like 98 cents on sale at Walgreens. Very fascinating that we choose to celebrate identities 1 month a year. Like, Black History Month gets a month. AAPI Month gets a month. Women's History Month gets 1 month. Like, how about we just start integrating all these specialized tokenized content into year-round evergreen stuff, right? Right? Why do we have to sequester it to just 10% of the year? And what are we actually trying to say about those identities, and what are we trying to say about ourselves? And do you actually give a fuck? Or is this just the easy way for you to perform some kind of optics game to make more money? Oh yeah, I'm seething inside, guys. I'm seething inside. I'm really tired. I'm really burnt out. I'm really frustrated with the lack of progress that we're making in bargaining. I feel very defeated, and I don't understand how people... I mean, I hope your life is so good that you just can't see why other people are fighting to have more rights and more power. Because I truly don't understand people who hold so much power, and I'm speaking to my experience in a corporation, who just can't give up that power so that their workers are happier. Truly burning me out on both ends, trying to do the job that I'm getting paid for and to participate in the union that is trying to make that job better for everyone. I didn't always have strong opinions about corporations in general. I think in the past year we've all learned a lot of shit that we weren't aware of before, that we never had to think about before, and I think this year I've learned a lot, and I've become quote unquote more radical, quote unquote more progressive, whatever the fuck that means. I mean, I think it just means that I'm finally awake to the shitty situations that we've all just kind of been coasting in, and felt comfortable enough because we weren't broken, but because of all the circumstances that we've gone through in the past year, the brokenness became amplified, and now our body hurts all over. And it is just harder to ignore the injuries that we've suffered, and it's harder to ignore the injuries that we continue to suffer, and it's harder to unsee all the shit that we saw this year. And for people who still have the privilege and the position to continue to be blind to these circumstances that people are still slogging through, really shows you something. And the fact that the rich became richer this year is just, how does it not radicalize you? And I don't mean go blow up buildings or, haul out the guillotines, because killing off people metaphorically or literally don't really solve anything in the long run. It just creates more conflict. The only thing that can really sustain change for all is if we can have a dialogue and crack through these hard nuts of a brain. And it just feels impossible sometimes. Jeff, I don't have happy thoughts for you. I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to do whatever it is that I normally do on my own, except just broadcast it to the internet and whoever wants to listen. I'm making some lentil soup, reheated, leftovers. I'm steaming some sweet potatoes. Those are gonna make me extremely happy. But I just, yeah, Christina, companies do shit like that. They don't fucking care. That's why corporations aren't people, because I would expect people to have more of a conscience, but maybe not. Maybe you just can't have a conscience to run companies like that. And this is why anger is necessary, because when they see that you are angry, and when they see that you are unfulfilled, and when they see that you are willing to fight for things that you actually believe in, they get scared and they want to appease you. When you don't say anything and you don't speak up, they're going to take you for granted, and they're going to continue thinking in their happy little brains that you're also happy and content. but we might all just be putting up a facade because we consider that to be the professional thing to do, and we just stick it out for as long as we can, and we just burn it out, and we just keep burning it out until we're like, no, fuck this, I quit. Which a lot of people have been quitting. There was an article that I just read where self-care for the privileged enough who can't afford to quit has become quitting their jobs. Like, that's the ultimate act of self-care. Of course, not a lot of us can afford to do that. But that just shows you how toxic work has become for a lot of us. That people have to quit their jobs in order to feel like that's the only thing that they can do to ultimately take care of themselves, is to completely cut themselves off from work. How do we not do this to ourselves? We have the technology to work less, and somehow we're working more, and somehow we're getting paid the same or paid even less, accounting for inflation. How does that happen? And why does that happen? And who's making it happen? And who's making sure that this keeps happening? Like, these are all things to get very fucking angry about. Cooking still makes me very happy. That's why I do it. I do it as a way to feed myself, as a way of stress relief. I love staring into the bubbles. I love watching the steam. It's very meditative for me. Just to see things move, to see heat transform. I love seeing the water droplets, the condensation, the steam billowing out. I appreciate the way that the sweet potato turns from an opaque, starchy white to a translucent little bite of creamy goodness. It does make me extremely happy. I feel like food is probably the thing that makes me the most engaged in life, let's just say. I don't have many things really tying me down to this existence, but cooking is really stabilizing for me. Yuka, I did fart lots today, but I don't think it was because of lentils. I think it was because I ate raw string beans, which are delicious. Raw string beans are so sweet when they're good. Tyler. Yeah, I love hands-off cooking, you know? You set it and you forget it, and you stir it once in a while so your cheap, thin IKEA pots don't let the stuff burn. But otherwise, just very hands-off. Then we can shoot the shit about everything. Look at the top 5 shareholders in any large corporation and you will find, yeah, totally right. Yep. Yeah, I love these thin IKEA pots. For everyone who's calling for Delish to buy me new pots, y'all don't understand me yet. Y'all don't understand that I don't want new pots. I want my cheap pots to last for fucking ever. I want to keep cooking on cheap pots. Cheap pots for the win, guys. If you know how to cook with it and it works for you, you don't gotta replace that shit just because other people tell you there's better things out there. Our whole definition of what is better is so fucked in every aspect. Like, better products, better lives, better jobs, the hierarchies that we've set up for ourselves, and the taboos and the discrimination against certain professions. Like, I think I've told you guys this before, but like high school teachers telling me that I should set my sights higher than becoming a teacher. And I'm just like, how do you say that to me as someone who works in a school setting? The fact that we have jobs that get paid less is very problematic. It's not that those jobs are worthless or less valuable, it's just that we refuse to pay them their value. Why do we pay farmers and growers of food shit? And why do we pay CEOs mind-fuckingly large amounts of money? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who created the system, but it's pretty fucked. And I also don't know if the people up top realize that, like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't imagine having $200 million could make me that much happier than I am now. But if money is the only thing that makes you happy, I guess that works for you. But I also feel sad if money is the only thing that will make you happy. Money is a tool to get you things that lead you to happiness. But when you are just hoarding money, what actually brings you happiness? It's just kind of like procrastinating on actually thinking through what will make you happy. Whatever. I give up. Out of all the broths you make, which meat is your favorite for broth making? I like pork bones, but that's just because I grew up with pork bones and they're often available at my store for $1 a bag, so that's what I use the most. But Erin's done beef before and that's pretty good too. I find that with beef, I like the flavor of it better when it's cooked longer. I mean, I think all broths taste richer when you cook them longer, but I think pork can take less time to get flavorful enough for me, and beef, I like the flavor when it's less gamey and more marrowy. So, yeah, happiness is kind of a myth. Well, I wouldn't say happiness is a myth, but the concept that we have of happiness being a sustainable state of being is a myth. I don't believe that you can sustain happiness like that. Ooh, our sweet potatoes are done. Yay! Shut off that heat. I'm gonna shut off our lentil heat. I'm gonna pop this in the lentils. There you go. Be happy. I'm gonna let those cool off a little bit, and then we can come chat with Fredo. Let's go chat with Fredo. Hi, Fred. The people. They desire to see you. Yeah, buddy. Oh my god, you adorable little thing. You have given me so much toxo. I am filled with your toxoplasmosis. Filled with it. Fred, do you have something to say? Kelly wants to know if you have something to say. Yes? No? Fred, will you run for mayor? We need a mayor. Do you think you can take care of New York City? Do you think you can fix the MTA? Do you think we can build some more homes for currently homeless people? Can we do that? Yeah, buddy. Aww. Yeah, he's got a nice little snaggletooth from time to time. I think Fred would make a good mayor, honestly. Butter for all. What about the vegans? Fred, what are you going to give the vegans? Are you going to give them like lots of cashews? Cashews are delicious. Yeah. Oh, look at that paw action. Oh, yeah. Big yawn. Yes, Olivia, love to see that expired thing. Trash meal. Love those trash meals. Yes. I'm gonna turn off the timer that's about to go off. And then I'm gonna step back. Yes, I'm back. I am your servant. Deb, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a hard thing. I'm not even gonna think about it. I usually desensitize myself to tough situations by like imagining them happen so that I won't feel as crushed, but you will never die, right, Fred? You'll be here forever and ever and ever. Right? Yes? He says yes. He's gonna be stuck in this mortal coil with me. Buddy, you're gonna fall off the chair soon. My hand is the only thing keeping your head up. Fred, you're so warm. You're like a little heated blanket. So warm. I could crush you right now. I could kill you right now. With my giant hands. I can close in around your throat and take your breath away. I've never had Korean sweet potatoes. I'm sure they're really good. Are they anything like Japanese sweet potatoes? Lutfita, that sounds wonderful. I'm so glad you made your own broth and liked it. Yay. Hi, India. I mean, purple skin, white inside, super sweet is kind of the ones that I just steamed, except I peeled off the skin. But that sounds like a Japanese sweet potato. I don't know why I love you so much. It's only been 2 months, but I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Fred and I are gonna get married, guys. Surprise! Ooh, Samantha. But why would you do that? But why would you do that? Crunchy and creamy. Don't make me choose. Linda, you found a painting? You sing outside all day long, you dumpster dive, and then you find a cat painting. You are living the dream life. Yes, Vicky. We have 354 witnesses with us today. You're really hamming it up for the camera. This is the first time today that he's been so complacently nice. Look at his swishy tail. Look at his little swishy tail. Are you staring into their souls, Fred? I also like how his eye line goes straight to the camera instead of the middle of the screen. You can see him staring at you directly. He knows where to look. You're amazing. Are you actually a human trapped in a cat's body? If so, what is your real name? Fred, what if I made a video series of just you running around the house and we just uploaded like 2 hours footage of Fred every day? Do you think we would hit 1 million views? Do you think we can be rich? Do you want us to be rich? Maybe we can get more money to donate to causes, huh? What causes would you want to support? I didn't touch your butt. Why are you freaking out? Attach a GoPro to Fred? That would show you a lot of secrets that I'm not sure I want to show you guys. All the different spots in this 490 square foot apartment that you've never seen. Ow. Good morning, Jakarta. What do you think, Fred? I do feel like there was a human inside. Fred was playing with the mouse toy a little bit more, but I think the mouse is a little bit too big for him, so he doesn't feel comfortable batting at it. He chases the tail a little bit. Yeah, Fred? What you looking at? Oh, you want to stand next to the tripod? Well, they can't see you if you're right next to the tripod. What do you think about that angle? Do you like that angle? What are you thinking about, Fred? I don't know where he's trying to go. All right, Mama's hungry. We're gonna wash hands and we're gonna eat. Somebody unsubscribed from my channel because I didn't wash my hands after petting Fred and handling food. I'm sorry, I guess, but I'm the one ending up with toxoplasmosis, not you. So like, it's fine, girl. One less human in the world. It's not bad news. Lentil mush with one single piece of sweet potato floating in it, guys. But also, does anybody not get so entranced by the steam that comes off of food? I sometimes just stare at it. They're like fast motion clouds right in front of your face. Wispy little clouds. The declarative goodbye phenomenon is hilarious. Betty, I agree. Like, yes, I'm sorry that I offended you. Goodbye forever, and I'll miss you, and I apologize, and I won't do these sinful things anymore, like pet my cat and not wash my hands. Sometimes I feel like I have some sort of trauma from washing my hands from the beginning of pandemic because I have really bad skin conditions and it was already really bad, and then the pandemic hit and everybody was like, you must wash your hands every single time for 20 seconds. And my hands about like 4 weeks into the pandemic were terrible. Just like cracks everywhere. And so now that I feel a little bit more relaxed about COVID, I'm just like, maybe I don't need to wash it so often. But, you know, he's probably given me a lot of toxoplasmosis. Yes, it is a double-sided wooden spoon fork that unfortunately I broke the tine of on my camping trip. But I still love it and I still use it. Lentils. Half mush, half solid. It's a great thing. Oh. Hannah, does that mean that this won't actually grow? Did I do the wrong thing? Should I keep drying this out or should I compost it? Just a little bit of salt and pepper. Yeah, somebody also commented that they don't like wearing masks because it's given them really painful acne, and I totally understand that. If you feel comfortable going maskless and hopefully you're vaccinated, go maskless, but I don't feel comfortable yet, and after everything has been said and done, life is just a cost-benefit analysis. You do what works for you. I'm not condemning everyone who doesn't wear a mask nowadays, especially, you know, if you're fully vaccinated and you feel comfortable, that's fine. But if you're not vaccinated, I mean, just maybe if you can, if vaccinations are available to you, it would be nice if you could get vaccinated before you take off your mask. Thank you, George. I wanted to be a psychology major, but I never took psych classes in college. I did take a Psych 101 in high school that counted for college credit, but I don't think my college ever counted it. And I really don't remember much of it. I remember being really, really, really disappointed that it was so biology heavy, but of course it is. Because it deals with the brain, but I was hoping for more like philosophical human existence shit. Thoughts on lying about being vaccinated? You're a fucking asshole. That's my thoughts on that. If you're not gonna get vaccinated, don't lie about it. And just be honest about why. The last thing we need is people lying about whether or not they're vaccinated. It could actually kill people. Just don't fucking lie about it. Be a fucking responsible adult. We need more responsibility right now from our adults, please. It is a shameful thing when children are more responsible than the adults that run the society. Like, what the fuck are we teaching people that they grow up to be more irresponsible? Why not a philosophy major? Because I took 2 philosophy classes in college and I hated them both. Hated them both. So unengaging and just filled with a lot of male voices droning on forever and ever, and I was not entranced at all, and I didn't learn a single thing, and all of the papers were so dumb to write. And I found what I needed, and I found what I wanted from philosophy in my religion classes, which is why I turned out to be a religion minor. Bye, friend. Lentils are really good. I'm gonna add a little bit more black pepper for a little bit of heat and just a pinch more salt because I don't care about blood pressure. I probably should, but I don't. Getting the smell out of jars, you wanna reuse like pickle jars. So I actually have sweetened condensed milk sitting in a jar that used to hold pickled jalapenos. And yes, it does still smell like pickled jalapenos when I open it up, but I don't taste the jalapenos in my condensed milk. I think the smells kind of just go away over time. I like to soak them in hot water overnight and hope for the best, but I don't have any other magic tricks. Maybe other people do. Baking soda. Yep, baking soda and vinegar solves so many kitchen worries. Ooh, what's mungo? 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 Fred, you always like to sit right there. What is it about that spot? Is it because you can both see into Aaron's room and my room? But no, you're not really looking in my direction. I have no idea why you do that. I'm going to taste the sweet potato. I don't think you're interested because I offered you a piece of sweet potato before and you were like, no thank you, Mom. Very steamy still. I might just leave it on the cap. There. Leave it on the jar. That's where he watches the ghost. Bye, Megan. Yes, enjoy the long weekend. I am pretty sure that there's a lot of mice/rats in our walls because I hear skirting all the time. And it sounds almost like bits and pieces of the plaster inside the walls are kind of just like raining down. I'm not sure he'll eat it. He doesn't seem like he likes plant stuff very much. Yep. Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, all the farty goodness, daikon. The things that are the best for you also smell the worst. Ooh, cockroaches. I don't know, man. I don't want to think about it. Squirrels are really, really good chewers. I've heard a lot of squirrel stories. Oh yeah. Yep, immigrant parents plus growing up poor. And wanting to major in something that is not conventionally profitable, yes. Good luck with that struggle. Melody, where do you live? That people can get jail for not wearing masks. That sounds intense. But I guess in the middle of a pandemic, you really have to do a cost-benefit analysis. Like, how many people could you possibly kill if you went around everywhere maskless? But also a slippery slope into a rather draconian measurements for punishment. Hi, Andrew. Andrew Cancel. Is that your real last name? That's a fascinating last name. Lena. That's a good point, Rebecca. Like, if you jail somebody, you also have to use taxpayer money, I guess. Is this in the States? Do you have advice about, is it worth to feel like shit because your grade isn't the highest one? If you want to torture yourself and you're a masochist and you actually get some kind of weird, twisted pleasure out of making yourself feel like shit, by all means do it, but you know, you gotta lose most of the time because this game only has one winner, technically.
And chances are you're not going to win all of them. So if you want to just keep feeling like shit for the rest of your life, you go do that. But otherwise, now would be a great time to start learning how to feel comfortable being a loser. And let's destigmatize losing, because losing isn't bad. It just means you're not winning. And winning sometimes comes at the cost of oppressing yourself and oppressing others. So think about whether or not you want that. I think back to all the times in the past year where I cooked something and I failed, and I filmed it, and I felt double like a failure for spending time filming a failure of a recipe, and then hating myself for it and being so angry and like whiny and bitchy, and then lashing out at Aaron about it and just feeling like a total piece of shit. And I look back and I'm like, yep, that disappointment is what actually made that mistake stick with me and teach me something for my next go around. So you're absolutely right. Failing is learning. And I think we really have to reteach ourselves how to live. Because if you only expect to succeed in life and only consider success to be good, you're denying yourself the spectrum of existence. That's just kind of like saying you only like eating spicy and therefore you're going to only eat cayenne peppers. There's a lot of other flavors out there for us to taste. You might not like all of them, but you never know what you're gonna like until you try them. But like, not all failures will be positive. Sometimes you just make a fucking mistake and you will regret it for the rest of your life. And then that's when you have to ask yourself, is it worth feeling regretful for the rest of my life, or do I want to let it go and just try to start anew? And yes, it's not easy at all to start anew and wipe it, but you really have to do, again, a cost-benefit analysis and see what will make you suffer less. If you want to live and you want to not hate living, you have to constantly reassess your situation to figure out which choice will give you less suffering. Now go. I have so many food regrets. So many. So the next time, just fucking eat it all. Dang. Never buy potato outside. Always make it inside. Potatoes are so cheap. Can't justify spending money out on potatoes. It's like when I go to eat out, I never buy vegetables, because the back of my brain is always like, you can buy this vegetable for under $1. Is it worth paying $18 plus tip for it right now? Answer is inevitably almost always no. But I will try things like hummus, where I feel like each house has a very different treatment of it. And of course, if I see a vegetable that I really adore, like eggplant, sometimes I'll splurge on it. But for the most part, if it's a basic treatment of a basic vegetable, I'm just like, not worth it, guys, not worth it. Oh yeah. Nako, that is sweet. Yes. Eat all the shit. Especially if it's on them. Yep, Latavia, I agree with that 100%. Oh my God, Valerie, you had us scared. It's okay. We're glad that she is home. And I hope that she gets better soon. Going in and out of hospitals, really fucking rough. You really start to get tired of seeing that trip down the hallway, just like hearing that same echo. Hearing the same shit, not making progress. It's so dense and creamy. There's a slight scent of like floral greenness where it's closer to the skin of the potato. The inside is very nice and sweet, almost fluffy, but also very dense and moist. And after you chew it and you start swallowing it, it's so rich and thick that it feels like peanut butter going down your throat. And I think this is why I love Japanese sweet potatoes. It's so thick. A pure pleasure to eat. Do you like these earrings? It's a little hook with like a flower, and then the hook is kind of like the stem. And I got it off of eBay, and I think it was like $2. You're welcome. Is that the new way of spelling thick, Latavia? I like it. It's like when in college we used to call Target Target. Potatoes and lentils together, perfect combo. Are you talking to Google? It's so creepy to hear her voice. Hi, Fred. What you doing over there? Are you hungry? You want a treat? Shall we give you a very expensive freeze-dried turkey treat? Have you been a good boy today? I think you've been a very good boy today. Look at this shit. Freaking $20 for this 8-ounce bag. More expensive than the shit that I eat. Yeah, you're welcome. Only for the bougie ass folks. We're just using this as treats now. We initially bought it because we thought he was allergic to some of the food, so we were like, single ingredient food. Aaron went and got a bag of this, and I was like, no fucking way, this is $20 for 8 ounces. You a bougie ass cat. Taking forever to eat that piece, huh? I think Fred has always just been a very trusting cat. The agency and the foster both said that he's one of the sweetest boys they've ever met, so. Sorry, boy, I don't have any more. You want me to try a turkey? Really? Is that what you're asking me to do? You looking for food? Are you looking for food? Oh, how about this? I'll take a little nibble, and then I'll give the rest to Fred. Then we both win. It's like flaky. It crumbles like this. Oh my God, Fred. Enjoy, buddy. I know it's raw, guys. Isn't that why you guys want me to do it? It's because I can die from this? Ow. There's like a fucking piece of bone in here, guys. You know what this tastes like? Too late, I ate it. You know what this tastes like? It tastes like the bone and the meat that's left over after I've cooked it for broth and I've pressed all the juices out. It tastes like that. No more, Fred. You're gonna get fat. You wanna be fat? Do you wanna be fat? Do you wanna be fat? Were you gonna hit me? The hand that just fed you? Hey! What's up with that? How dare you, cat? How dare you? The rating is a 2. It's not very delicious, guys. I'm glad Fred likes it, because I sure don't. I don't have any more, Fred. I'm sorry, buddy. You're gonna have to starve until 9 a.m., okay? Definitely needs more salt. I should be the one intermittent fasting. Fred gets fed twice, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. But he starts meowing at 5 sometimes, and he'll continue meowing until 8 sometimes. What you looking for, bud? Yes? Do you want some sweet potato? Hey. I don't think he wants that sweet potato. It's very mushy. It's soft enough for him. You sure you don't want it? Fredo? Fred? 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 Wow, rejected. Oh, I cooked some steamed sweet potato and I reheated up my lentil soup from last night. That's it. It's not really a soup, it's more of just like a cooked lentil mash. I don't really have any good pasta sauces, no. To be honest, I just use like canned crushed tomatoes, garlic, olive oil, a little touch of sugar, salt, pepper. That's about it. I keep it really simple because I rather like the taste of canned tomatoes with a little bit of sugar. I think it tastes really nice and pure. So, why is it white? It's a Japanese sweet potato. So it had like a purple skin. You peel it, and the inside flesh is white. It's much starchier, as you can see. It doesn't have any juices flowing out of it. I have seen frozen roasted sweet potatoes, yes. Cinnamon sugar pasta sounds delicious. It reminds me of like kugel. Yes, it is sweeter than regular sweet potatoes, if you mean the orange ones that you're used to seeing at Thanksgiving. It's a lot more fibers sometimes, but it's mostly more starchy, more dense, and more sweet. Hi, India. Oh yeah, always be carbo loading. Jessica, is sweet potato actually a vegetable though? Are we really counting potatoes as a vegetable? Oh yeah, I mean, Fred basically eats the same food that I do. He's just a carnivore and I'm more vegetarian based, but the texture is exactly identical. What veggie? This veggie? It's a Japanese sweet potato. Otherwise, I just have lentils in here. Yeah, sweet potatoes are roots. I guess they're a vegetable. But I think the USDA has classified it as a starch, as like a carbohydrate. Do you guys think of tomatoes as a fruit or a vegetable? I know scientifically it's a fruit, but do you consider it a vegetable? Very interesting. Very split. The spork is from Snow Peak. I believe it's a Japanese company. I eat cherry tomatoes like grapes though. So I eat cherry tomatoes like a fruit. Sometimes, when I was younger, my mom would take really ripe summer tomatoes, slice them into wedges, and then she would put sugar on top. So I feel like that's more of a fruit treatment. Yeah, Snow Peak should really sponsor me. I feel like I've led a lot of people to Snow Peak Sporks. A lot of people commented on how we don't use sponges when we wash dishes sometimes, but like, not all dishes need sponges, guys. If there's no grease, you probably don't even need soap. If there's no residue, you don't need a sponge. So, it's just how I do dishes. Jars, I like to put in a few drops of soap, fill it with hot water, and shake it. And that gets into all the nooks and crannies. And then I focus on the lid, which can trap grease in the crevice, where the rings kind of torque into that jar. And I focus on the lip of the jar for the same reasons, because fats can get stuck there. But otherwise, hot water, a few drops of soap, some vigorous shakes should degrease your jar very quickly. And then I pour the rest of the soap water into my remaining dishes so that I don't waste it. Hi, Texas. I saved your sanity. That makes me so happy. You sponsored me by letting me know that I saved your sanity. Moments like this makes life a little less painful. Nako, I'm so excited for you. Truly, when Aaron and I took that walk into Brooklyn, like last Monday or something, I think it was last Monday, yeah. And we ate out, and we had like a beer. I feel like that was the first time in over a year that we had done anything like that, and even felt remotely comfortable doing that instead of guilty, and it was truly a very enjoyable experience to relive. So I hope that experience is a very positive one for you, and I hope you get to enjoy it. Hi, Fred. Hi. I don't have treats for you, buddy. Don't look at me like that. I only have sweet potato, which you don't want, right? Okay. Hi. What you doing walking back and forth? What you doing? I would consider myself a pessimist. But unfortunately, I still feel optimistic hope inside me. So it's a very struggle boat experience. Oh, is it time for bed? Yeah, it is almost midnight. I didn't check out the podcast yet. I'm really bad about podcasts, guys. You are a strange voyeur turning into the kitchen life. But I think this is what my channel has turned into. It's fine. I welcome it. I myself am very much into voyeurism. Not that kind. I just like stalking people in the city, you know? Back when museums were still a thing, I really like to go to the museums just to watch people watch things. So, I get you. Persimmons can be very weird, yes. Were they crunchy or... Oh, interesting. They were mushy already. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they're just not good. Latavia, what podcast do you edit? Should we listen to it? Soft persimmons are good, but not when they taste astringent. That sounds bad. However, you should know that the skin of the persimmon can sometimes be astringent, so you might want to peel that away first. I love persimmons. I love them crunchy, I love them mushy, I love them nice and juicy and plump and chewable. They're so delectable at every stage, every different kind of persimmons too. They taste a little bit like sweet papaya crossed with a dried medjool date to me. I don't really know how I choose persimmons, but if I'm buying the hachia, is it called hachia? The round tall one? I buy them when they're like pretty ripe, not completely hard, a little bit soft with like, if you can see like frosty bits on the skin, that's the best. If you have the fuyu, the flat ones, sometimes I just buy them on like sale when they go really black and soft. Sometimes they get sold for like 5 to 8 for $1. I buy those. I like tear out with my, after I wash them, I tear out with my hands the blackened bits. I kind of de-skin them. And the juicy, kind of almost rotting, super ripe flesh is so sweet and jammy. It's so jammy. It really depends. If they're like really gone past that ripe stage and they're all spotty, some stores will sell it on discount. JS, I disagree. I think fuyu is the flat one. The one that looks like a 4-leaf clover. It's kind of like squarish with 4 segments, and I think hachia is the tall one that looks like a peach. Dried persimmons are so good. I love dried persimmons so much. They're so expensive though. Tiffany, what kind of mushrooms? Different kinds of mushrooms cook differently. And if you want to caramelize your mushrooms and turn them crispy, it don't matter when you add in the salt. If you want to keep your mushrooms really plump like portobellos or the white button mushrooms, don't salt them right away. Cook them in a little bit of fat, adding more as you see fit, and then salt them towards the end. Salt will draw out moisture, so for the more moist mushroom varieties, yes, they will deflate and they will turn kind of rubbery. But if you add salt and they turn rubbery, you can just keep cooking them and keep adding a little bit more fat until they turn crispy, crunchy, golden. So all is not lost. You just gotta know to keep on keeping on, and everything is fixable. What is something you'll splurge on? I'll splurge when I'm traveling on all sorts of food. I don't know if I've really ever splurged. I'll splurge on my fucking cat. I'll buy him good food. How do you go about trying new foods if you're a picky eater? That's like a catch-22. The thing about being a picky eater is that you don't want to try new foods. So if you want to try new foods, then you have to release your identity of a picky eater and just try new foods. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's like watching a new TV show. You're not going to like them all. Button mushrooms, I have to admit, I hate them cooked. I really just eat them raw, dipped into hummus. The only mushrooms that I really like cooking are like shiitake, chanterelle. I don't really buy chanterelles because they're fucking expensive, but shiitake is really good. So if you want to get into mushrooms, I highly recommend shiitake mushrooms. Yeah, Bean Eats, this is an actual live. Can't you tell by how boring it is? I'm just standing here eating a sweet potato, waiting for my belly to bloat with gas and maybe let out a fart later. Del, the key to cooking is always adding a little more salt or seasoning. If it tastes bad, you didn't fail. You just need to keep adding stuff to it. You can't buy MSG. Which Asian market are you going to, girl? What do I look for buying? For me, it depends on what country you're in. For me, it's a clear bag the size of my 2 palms put together. Let me put down my sweet potato. Like yay big. It's a clear bag, and then it has red writing on it. And it's usually a Ajinomoto brand. Answer the question, Allison. The chat is open for all. Yes, Fred, are you pooping? Oh, you're pooping. You're definitely pooping. I like white sweet potatoes a lot. I like orange. I like purple. Purple can be very, very fiber sometimes. I never know how to pick it, but I love them all. Guys, I honestly don't know if you're ready to hear my farts. So let's just save it for another day. I don't want to lose more than 20 followers a day, okay? We're not at that stage yet where I can afford a mass alienation of my audience by farting on stream. But maybe one day. I got sent these cute little MSG shakers. You probably can't see because I have a shitty resolution, but it says Ajinomoto right here. And I have a feeling these were actually made in Japan because the labeling is all in Japanese. But I have so many of these. I have like 4 of these because I bought 1 bag of MSG, and you really don't go through it that fast at all. You just use very little every time. I probably bought this like 4 years ago. Still have it. Guys, I've run out of things to say. It's probably about time. Sorry, really loud. That I let you go and that I let out my farts in peace, you know? Welcome to almost Friday. For those of you who can enjoy a very long, nice, long weekend, enjoy it. Try to not think about work, which I'm gonna fail at already, I know. But remember that there is more to life than productivity. We just have to find what is worth focusing our energy on. And Fred has come to say goodbye. Fred, say goodbye. Fred, stop licking yourself. Say goodbye. Look here. Look. Here. Look here. Fred. Hey, there we go. Good night, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.